Everybody, this is Tina with Loving Life's Little Blessings. Welcome to Memory Keeping Friday. I am going to share with you Kayla's album. It's all finished. This is her fifth and sixth year album. It is all finished. All the photos are in. I do just have some journaling to do, and then I'm going to share with you the start of her very next album. So this is 2013 and 2014. I have tabs on the side here. I have previously talked about and showed how I put tabs in the albums, and then that way I get at least 2 years in one album. So what I did, the last time I shared with you guys, I told you it was pretty close to being done. I had just made a note of all the photos that I needed, and then when I got photos printed at the end of January, I went back and looked for those photos. Now, I've had several different computers since I started the beginning of her album. So one tip I wanted to share with you guys, I always use Snapfish to print my photos, snapfish.com. And I was really glad that I've stuck with something over the years because I was able to just go back to Snapfish and see what I had uploaded during that time. And in recent days, I started naming my Snapfish album the same that I name it on my computer. So everywhere that my photos are, they're named the same, so I can go back and easily find items. So this was 2013. We've seen all of this. I just went back and got photos. I did not have any photos for February and March, I believe. So there's still a few little minor things. There's supposed to be photos over here, and I just don't have them. I can't find them. I'm just moving on because it's just important to me to get these albums finished. And if I just wait around until everything's perfect and every little photo is there, it's just never gonna happen. And so I'm just letting it go. I do need to go back, and I want to go back and journal a few things. So this starts 2014, and this is where some of the photos were missing. I was missing photos for all of December and November. So you can see I went back and I got photos and I put those in. The other thing that I did is we had family photos taken in November of this year, and they were for our family Christmas card. And you can see that this photo right here is the same as this photo, but I went ahead and I got this printed in an 8.5, an 8 by 10, I'm sorry, 8 by 10. And I just went ahead and I stuck it in here. And so that she would have this. I love this photo of her, and so I wanted her to have that. And then I always put a Christmas card in, when we have family Christmas cards, I get enough that one can go in all of our albums. And so then also, I have to journal because that was Christmas. So then we start 2014, and I just have some pattern paper here to end that year, and then it starts this year, and I just have the date. So then this is where I do need to go back and do some journaling. I didn't have photos for all of February of this year, so these are photos that I went back and I got and printed. And then you can see I didn't have them for March, and I ended up not getting enough printed. I wasn't taking a lot of photos during that time. It was a really hard February and March of last year. It was just an extremely hard month, and I did not take a lot of photos, unfortunately. So I'll probably stick some just paper in here and then do some journaling. So then I went through, filled all of the photos, and then I had some things back here that I added, and I wanted to show you guys. Back here where school starts, you can see I've started using a few other designs. This is one of my favorite designs to use, Design E. I have some really simple things in here. Her first month calendar of first grade I put in here. I have just some projects that she did, and they're in there. I have this is her school photos, and I had originally meant to do an entire layout, and I just didn't do that. Here's her class photo. It's in this kind of page protector. I had her write on a grid card some of her spelling words, and then one of her spelling tests is in there. This is a progress report for her, some other schoolwork. A lot of times she will tell me, you know, Mommy, I want to put this in my album, or can we find a place for this? And I always make sure to do that. So then this is another thing that I did. This was a really big picture that she did, and I just put hole punches in it, and then I just folded it and it's in there. And yes, I mean, this could get ripped, but I've really just taught my kids when looking at albums to be very careful. Probably over the years, I mean, it could get ripped and get torn out. She does have an envelope back here, so if for some reason this got torn out and she wanted to keep it, there is an envelope back here that she has stuff. But I mean, I'm just not terribly worried about it because for the most part, we're all very careful with our albums, and when looking through them, they're not yanking them around or throwing them down or ripping through pages. Like, they do pretty good. Here was Student of the Month, and then some other projects, and then it goes right in here. And then this was some Christmas stuff that she specifically asked to keep, and so we put it in there. And then here's another one of those that just folds out. And then here is Christmas time, and none of that is journaled, and then that's the end of the album. And then she has an envelope in here. So that's what I've done for her album. We'll go ahead and finish journaling it, and then it will be done. And it so far has worked out really well. It's very thick. I don't particularly like that it's in this album. I've talked about these albums before. These are the Becky Higgins albums, and they're not the faux leather albums. And the problem with these albums are they begin to tear at the corners, and we open ours up so much and look through them that I just feel they do not stand up to the opening and closing them. And this, I didn't know this is the first time I had used this album when I got it several years ago, and then I just realized, okay, I can't get these albums. So now we always get the faux leather albums. I asked Kayla to pick out a color, and she picked out pink, so I will be getting a pink album. I get mine on Amazon. I get the We Are Memory Keeper faux leather albums, and I'm getting a pink one. It was on sale for $20. It's gone back up to $26, and so I'm waiting for it to go back down to $20. So let me show you what I do when I don't have an album. So because I'm waiting for that album to drop in price again, and waiting to purchase it, what I've done is, this is what I often do. I've gone ahead and set up her album, or started to set it up, and it's just not actually in an album. And I just take one of these envelopes that I have. I've got about 4 or 5 of these, and I got them from Stampin' Up! A while ago. They don't have them anymore, but you can find these anywhere at your local craft stores. I know Cropper Hopper has something that's very similar to these, and I'll just put this whole thing right in this envelope, and I have a place that I keep it until I get an album. So what I've done is I have my Cultivate a Good Life and Record It page lifter, and that's there. I just take these jump rings. I just have a whole container of these little jump rings that open up, and I just take them and put them through the holes right there to keep everything together until I get the album. So I have my page lifter, then I have my title page. This is a Design W, and what I'm going to do this year for Kayla is I'm gonna have 3 photos that go this way right down the front, and that's going to be her title page. I used this designer paper that I had on hand. I've had it for years and finally have used it. I used some stitched dies, and I just cut those out and layered them, and then I put 2015 on there. I'll probably put her name, or done by, like, maybe I'll do another little circle over here and put created by Mommy and Kayla, something like that. So that's my first page, my title page. So then I already have my dividers, and this year I just got clear dividers for Kayla, and that's what I'll continue to use instead of trying to always find dividers that match. So I've put my dividers in, and then I've put one sheet in between each divider. So here's January, here's February, March, it just goes on, April, May, and I always do at least one spread a month for each of my kids. So what I'm going to do now is I'm probably going to use a core kit for Kayla for this first month, for the first month of January, I'll drop my cards in, and then that way I can just come back and drop pictures in, and I don't have to worry about it. And then by limiting it to one spread per month, I'm not overwhelmed. I don't feel like I have to have 1,000 photos for their albums. I don't feel like it crosses over too much. I get a lot of questions about how I choose photos for my kids' album versus our family album. And so what I have found is by keeping it just really simple to one spread a month, I'm not duplicating a lot of photos. So I'm not having to take and print one photo 3 times and put it in all the albums. Now you can do that if that's easier for you. You can certainly do that. But my kids' album are really about them. It's really about different stages that they're at, different things they're experiencing. Our family album tends to be more about our family, about our everyday life, about my life, about my husband's life, about what our life looks like with our kids. And so hopefully maybe that will help. I know I get a lot of questions about how to pick photos for your kids' album. And I think as long as you are limiting it and not feeling like you have to put the entire world into each month, I think that really helps. And honestly, Kayla's album, hers is the first album that I've completed a full album of several years in one album, and I love her album. It is the perfect snapshot of her life and the different things that she has done and gone through, and the different things that she is interested in, and it's turned out really amazing. So that has really helped me. So I just have that all the way through December, and then that's it. And then if there is a month that I want to add more, like in January, she has a birthday in January, and so I probably will want to add an insert. That's probably what I'll do, is just add an insert for January. Or I can always add an extra page if for some reason I have more photos than will fit. So anyways, as soon as I get her album, as soon as it goes on sale and I order it and I get it, I'll just be able to slip all of this right into her album, and it'll be fine. And then I can still work on it and get things together with it without feeling like, well, I don't have the album, so I can't work on that. And I know that that is hard sometimes if you don't have... Sometimes if we don't have everything, then we feel like we can't get started. But I just really encourage you to go ahead and get started and get the album together, and then work on what you can, and it makes it a lot easier. So thanks guys for coming by and hanging out with me, and I will chat with you next week with all new projects and fun things. So thanks guys, and I'll talk to you later.
If you wanna play, make it a better place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw out